What does it mean to be a skilled reader? Welcome to this brief overview for California educators. This video is made possible through the California Dyslexia Initiative, led by the Sacramento County Office of Education and in collaboration with the California Department of Education, the California Collaborative for Educational Excellence, the State Board of Education, and the University of California, San Francisco's Dyslexia Center. Hello, my name's Christine Anderson, and I'm an English Language Arts Curriculum Specialist with the Sacramento County Office of Education. Our purpose today is to answer the question, what does it mean to be a skilled reader? We are born wired to talk. We learn to talk by being talked to, by being surrounded with spoken language. That's all it takes. No one has to teach us to talk. But learning to read, that's different. Our brains don't instinctively know how to do it. Writing is a code humans invented to represent speech sounds, and we have to crack that code to become readers. We don't crack the code naturally. We need to be taught how letters represent speech sounds. Decades of scientific research recognizes that the process of reading is the ability to hear discrete sounds in syllables and words. To become a skilled reader, one must figure out how the words they hear and know how to say connect to the letters and letter combinations on the page. So, what does it mean to be a skilled reader? To explore this question, we're going to use two foundational models of reading instruction. The first is called the simple view of reading, and the second is Hollis Scarborough's reading rope. Let's talk a bit about the simple view of reading. The simple view of reading, which was proposed by Philip Goff and William Tunmer in 1986, is a theoretical framework that is commonly used in the science of reading literature. The simple view of reading model states that word recognition, multiplied by language comprehension, results in reading comprehension. We need to have both word recognition and language comprehension to be a skilled reader. When we talk about word recognition, we are talking about the ability to translate printed text into pronounceable words. And language comprehension is the ability to understand text if it is heard instead of read. Both of those multiplied together results in reading comprehension, which is the ability to understand text. Notice that this model of the simple view of reading is a multiplication equation. 1 times 0 equals 0, meaning that word recognition without language comprehension does not equate to reading comprehension. And 0 times 1 equals 0. Language comprehension without word recognition does not result in reading comprehension. The multiplication aspect is showing us that it is not either or, it is both and. To be a skilled reader, one must have skills in both word recognition and language comprehension. 1 multiplied by 1 does in fact equal 1. Skills on both sides of the equation work together, and they strengthen and improve exponentially over time. As we learn to decode and read more words, we have the ability to understand more text. This is the simple view of reading. Word recognition multiplied by language comprehension results in reading comprehension. Now let's use our second model, Scarborough's reading rope, to help us understand the discrete skill areas that comprise word recognition and language comprehension. The reading rope, which we will examine in detail in just a moment, is a visual metaphor for the complexities involved in learning to read. A rope is a great metaphor because if you think of a rope, it's made up of many individual strands that are intertwined and woven together. For the reading rope, think of the rope as having 2 bundles of strands. One bundle represents the skills that support language comprehension, and the other bundle of strands represents the skills necessary for word recognition. Skilled reading is the result of these 2 bundles of strands intertwining and being tightly woven together. And this skilled reading rope becomes stronger and thicker as students become increasingly strategic and increasingly automatic with their knowledge and application of the discrete skills of reading. The skills that comprise the language comprehension domain are background knowledge, vocabulary, language structures, verbal reasoning, and literacy knowledge. The skills of the word recognition domain are phonological awareness, decoding, and sight recognition. Now let's learn a bit more about the reading rope and the skills that make up the language comprehension and word recognition domains, along with how these discrete skills are intertwined to result in skilled reading, which is the fluent execution and coordination of language comprehension and word recognition. The first strand under word recognition is phonological awareness, which is the conscious awareness of all levels of the speech sound system. It includes the ability to hear the discrete sounds in syllables and words. For example, the ability to recognize the sounds or phonemes in the word cat are k, a, t. One way to remember that phonological awareness is connected to sound is to note that the root phono means voice or sound, like a telephone. Phonological awareness includes the ability to hear discrete sounds. The next strand is decoding and spelling. Decoding is the ability to apply knowledge of the alphabetic principle and the spelling sound correspondences, including knowledge of letter patterns, to correctly pronounce written words. Understanding these relationships gives one the ability to recognize and write familiar words quickly, and to read and spell words that are unfamiliar. Sight recognition of familiar words is the final strand under word recognition. All words a reader has come to know through sight, sound, and meaning, and is able to instantly recognize and read accurately, is a sight word. Some sight words are regularly spelled words like stop or dog, and some are spelled irregularly, such as give or said. But a sight word can actually be any kind of word. They might be high-frequency words like the or should, but they don't have to be. They can also be words that are near and dear to a reader, such as Chihuahua. Or they could be words that appear often when someone reads a topic of interest, like Yosemite. Sight words are not words that a reader should learn by sight, but rather they are words that the reader can effortlessly read by sight. Any word can become a sight word by being stored to long-term memory through a process called orthographic mapping. The skills of these three strands of word recognition are taught and then braided and woven together. Unlike the skills of language comprehension, which flow over a lifetime, the word recognition skills can and must be mastered. Now, let's learn about the 5 language comprehension strands. The first strand is background knowledge. This, quite simply, is knowledge that a person already has about a topic. For example, the facts and concepts that are already known or understood. In order to comprehend a story or text, readers need a certain degree of background knowledge, which is developed through interaction with people, places, experiences, internet sources, texts, and content formally taught. The next strand is vocabulary knowledge. And vocabulary knowledge is far more complex than just looking up a word in the dictionary and using it in a sentence. Vocabulary is the knowledge of and memory for word meanings. Vocabulary knowledge is acquired incidentally through indirect exposure to words and intentionally through explicit instruction. As we know from our own experience, vocabulary is not something that is ever fully mastered. Rather, it is something that expands and deepens over the course of a lifetime. The breadth and depth of the words we know grows. Our precision in word knowledge increases over time, as well as the links we make between words and our understanding of concepts. Another strand in language comprehension is language structures, which includes syntax and semantics. Syntax is the arrangement of words in a phrase or sentence. The English language has patterns and rules to the way we order our words. For example, our school has many new students is a sentence. Many new students our school has is not an acceptable pattern for a sentence in English. Although there are rules about the arrangement of words in a sentence, there is also some flexibility and variety in acceptable patterns. Semantics is the study of word and phrase meanings and relationships. For example, the word handle has multiple meanings, and the words destination and last stop technically mean the same thing, but students of semantics analyze their subtle shades of meaning. Verbal reasoning is the next strand and refers to one's ability to understand what one reads by using logic and reasoning. It includes such aspects as understanding inferences, metaphors, and figurative language, considering not just what a text says explicitly, but also what is implied. Reading is not restricted to merely decoding and comprehending the words on the page. More often than not, just as in spoken language, the reader must look beyond the words and infer both literal and figurative meanings. Verbal reasoning is an important skill in that it helps readers think deeply about a text. The last strand is literacy knowledge. In earlier stages, this includes letter knowledge and concepts of print, which refers to awareness of how print works. It encompasses a number of understandings, such as knowing that print conveys a message, knowledge about book orientation and directionality of print, and distinction between sentences, words, and letters. More advanced skills include identifying an author's purpose or navigating the text features of a nonfiction book in order to efficiently find information. Exposure to different genres and types of text structures, such as cause and effect, chronological, or compare and contrast, and exposure to a variety of stories with different purposes is important in building literacy knowledge. These structures provide students a more developed framework on which they can rely as they learn to read more and more for themselves. Those are the skills of the language comprehension and word recognition domains of the reading rope. Skilled reading is the result of the skills of these two bundles of strands intertwining and being woven tightly together. And this skilled reading rope becomes stronger and thicker as students become increasingly strategic and increasingly automatic in their knowledge and application of the discrete skills of reading. But what if a strand of the rope is frayed or broken? Then the entire rope is weakened. Imagine if multiple strands are weak. It may not take long for the rope to begin to fray and unravel when weight is applied to the rope. In literacy, as text complexity and cognitive load increase, any weak strand will compromise reading comprehension. Skilled reading does not happen overnight. Through instruction and practice, one's reading rope becomes stronger and thicker over time, and the reader becomes increasingly strategic, increasingly automatic in the application of these skills. In this short video, we've examined two models to help us understand what it means to be a skilled reader: the simple view of reading and Hollis Scarborough's reading rope. As we close, let's note how the two models reinforce each other. Many think of the simple view of reading as the 10,000-foot elevation view. As we discussed, word recognition multiplied by language comprehension results in reading comprehension. Now let's add the strands from Scarborough's reading rope. As we zoom in, the reading rope provides more clarity and detail. We started our session with the question, what does it mean to be a skilled reader? A skilled reader is one who has fluent execution and coordination of word recognition and language comprehension. I hope that these two models for teaching reading will support your understanding of what it means to be a skilled reader and will support effective instruction in your classroom. There are many resources online if you would like to continue learning about The Simple View of Reading by Goff and Tunmer, 1986, or Scarborough's Reading Rope by Hollis Scarborough, 2001. Please visit the California Dyslexia Initiative website, found at scoe.net/CA Dyslexia. There, you can learn more about this project and access additional videos. The content for this video was developed by the California Dyslexia Initiative project staff at the Sacramento County Office of Education. Technical production of this video was performed by the Sacramento County Office of Education's Internet and Media Services Department.